Welcome back. The end is yet to be heard about the torture and brutality of 3 victims in Bisiji community of Plateau State, north-central Nigeria, by members of the Special Task Force in Plateau, north-central region of Nigeria. The Human Rights Commission is wading into the matter while condemning it in totality. Members of the community are also seeking justice for their kinsmen. Our correspondent, Yemi Kosoko, in our big story tonight, takes a look at the allegation by the Special Task Force that one of the victims was arrested for dispossessing a member of the task force of his rifle.
Indomie instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Only a few weeks ago, Amnesty International reported the inhumane treatment of Nigerians by the military, an allegation which they deny. There is a shocking new revelation. Indigenes of Kala Village in the Bisiji area of Barkin Ladi Local Government Council of Plateau State are seeking justice for the unlawful detention and torture of their kinsmen. Solomon Gyang, a 20-year-old welder and resident of Bisiji community in this account of events, claims that members of the Special Task Force detained him for 3 weeks, subjecting him to various degrees of punishment after he was found not to be guilty of any offense.
One day before that happened, I don't want soldier man. Come say why in don't interview palo, in come drink beer, in come talk say in don't lost, in gun don't lost. To any person who enter that beer palo, they come arrest him. So me come and say, they come tell me say, I didn't catch me now don't enter there, buy something. They come tell me say, that people who don't catch them, they could kill them. One soldier man come see me say, go Solomon. I say, yes sir, in a turn face, and come carry gun, put me for on top of my head. Say what happened? Why I talk anything, he will kill me. Say kill me for what reason? He come blow me for there, come slap me for there.
After 21 days of being detained, leaders of the community say it was only after they put pressure on the task force that one of the victims was released, while the others were transferred to the police for prosecution.
They hung the children in the trees. From there, they took them to their office there. And at last, they were sleeping inside water with those injuries. Were they been taken to the hospital? They said no.
A dialogue with the officers, trying to find out exactly the position of things. And as we've been going, in fact, it's like they have not been interested so much in listening to us, because they kept telling us that was a purely military issue. It involved them, and their gun was involved, and so on and so forth.
Bar, where the military personnel are said to patronize regularly, explains what transpired on that day.
That soldier came here in the evening around 7:30. He came and consumed some small amount of beer. McDowell's, he paid me and left. So the next morning, he came with his Oga, one CSM like that he lost his rifle. So the CSM, I explained to the CSM what's happened. He came and consumed some drinks and paid me and left. They asked the soldier, he said that yes, he left this compound with his rifle. He knows it. That after he left here, he go to where they say Suya. That CSM asked him, did you go that Suya place with your rifle? He answered yes. After the Suya place where you left, he said he got straight to his house.
King Justice seemed to be the next best action. So a lawyer was hired by the community. Letters were sent to the Special Task Force commander demanding apologies and compensation for the victims.
To our greatest surprise, on the 16th, which is the following day, rather than releasing them, the military took them to the police headquarters.
When China's television visited the spokesman of the Special Task Force for confirmation, he declined to comment.
the National Human Rights Commission takes exception to such kind of cases. And anytime such cases come to our notice, if it is reported, we go and investigate. If it is reported by the media, we go and investigate too. And if it is reported by individuals, we still go ahead and investigate and make sure the perpetrators are brought to book.
While there are still other badly bruised victims accused of offenses in police custody, Solomon Gyang is the only one fortunate enough to be with his family. Yemi Kosoko, Channels Television News.
Indomie instant noodles. Tasty nutrition. Good for you.
First Bank.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business News. I am Adeshewa Josh. Members of the International Organization of Securities Commission have agreed to assist small business owners in funding their businesses. This was revealed by the Executive Commissioner at Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission, Mr. Dauda Garbam, at the ongoing ISCO conference in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. According to Mr. Garba, capital markets from around the world are of the opinion that SMEs should get long-term funds. Organizers of the Euromoney conference opened up some economy-related issues for discussion among players in the financial market. And the conference, which is sponsored by FBN Holdings Limited, reached a conclusion that though the economy has continued to grow, there are opportunities for more investment in the various sectors.
Euromoney conferences are organized from country to country. The objective is to x-ray the possibilities of raising capital for investments with an array of market operators like those attending the Nigerian event. Sponsor of this edition, FBN Holdings, says there is need to increase investors' interest in Nigeria's power sector, as well as implement the Basel II and III requirements for economic capital management.
It's important that we attract foreign investors to invest money in things like the power sector. A lot of Nigerian banks have funded the power sector. The next challenge will be obviously to finance their asset acquisition, working capital. We are supposed to meet Basel II, and Basel III is coming up fast. And obviously, in the period between where the banks are trying to meet their capital adequacy ratios, they have to be very efficient in the way they deploy their resources. We will have to possibly reduce lending or be more efficient in the way we lend.
There are certain investor pools that should not be exposed to certain type of risks. So a lot of work has been done on both the equity side and the debt side to ensure that we now have a more prosperous, stable, viable and attractive market.
Organizers of the Euromoney conference are optimistic that Nigeria's rebased GDP will be a catalyst for improving the business environment.
There's twice as much money flowing around to be spent on goods and services as people thought there was before. Personally, I wasn't surprised by this rebase. I thought it was pretty obvious that both the GDP figures and indeed the per capita income GDP figures were wrong for years, and I've been saying this for years. So it's nice to have that affirmed officially. Doesn't make a real difference, but clearly it's a symbolically very important moment.
The one-day conference ends with exchange of ideas among the market operators, a step expected to promote a conducive investment climate for local and foreign investors.
Let's take you to the Nigerian equities market now. Trading ended there in the red, and the all-share index was pulled down by 0.18% due to losses by market heavyweights. Here's Temple Ashaju with the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The bears staged a comeback at the Nigerian equities markets today as the losses recorded by some major market movers dragged down the all-share index by 0.18% to 41,135.56. Market capitalization also fell to 13.58 trillion naira. Foods giant Nestle PLC led the session's top laggards. It shed 39 naira 97 kobo, followed by Guinness and Seplat. On the other hand, Stanbic IBTC added 1 naira 40 kobo to its share price to emerge Thursday's top appreciator. On the volume chart, Multiverse pulled the highest volume at 200 million units. When the closing bell rang, a total of 673.97 million units of shares valued at 6.31 billion naira have been exchanged in almost 5,000 deals. And that's it on the stock market report. I am Temple Ashagi.
And that's Business News tonight. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10, we'll bring you sports news, so do stay with us.